What's up, Transformers fans? My name's Mondo, and welcome to Moonbase 84. Today, let's take a look at Stampy vs. Sling from the Beast Wars Neo Japanese anime show. For full disclosure, when the upcoming Legacy Magmatron was first revealed, I didn't really have a clue who he was, although his dino forms did seem a little familiar to me. So I did some research, of course, and found out that he was released in the Beast Wars line over here in the US. But he was from this Japanese-only anime show sequel to Beast Wars Neo. And I have heard of Beast Wars Neo, and I did hear of Beast Wars 2nd. So, wanting to learn more about these characters, like Leo Prime, I decided I had to check out both those series. And if you haven't checked them out, I do recommend them. I thought they were awesome, and they are a much better sequel to Beast Wars than what we got here with Beast Machines. And as I said, I think Beast Wars 2nd and Beast Wars Neo are really cool shows. It's like discovering something from Transformers for the first time, almost like when you're a kid. Although they've been out since what? I think Neo was 99. I might be totally wrong on the dates, but you know, now we can call it kind of back in the day. But naturally, because I am a fan of those shows now, I had to get toys from those shows. So here we go. First set here we're going to look at, of course, is Stampy and Sling, who actually happen to be two of my favorite characters from Beast Wars Neo. So it's really awesome that I got them in this Versus pack. Obviously, here we have Stampy and Sling in their beast modes, and we'll check those out first, and then we'll check out the robot modes. And we're going to start off first with Sling. So here's Sling in his beast mode, and with this guy, there's some good and not so good, but also when we start talking about the not so good, we also have to take into consideration when this toy was made. Like I said, I could be wrong. Maybe I should have looked up the definitive release date, but it was the late 90s. I want to say around 98, 99. So, you know, Transformers have come a long way in design and engineering since then, obviously. So, you know, sometimes the not so good, it might be not so good for the time we're in, but decent for the time that this guy started off in, is what I'm trying to say. But as we take a closer look at him, what I really love about this guy, I feel like I'm holding a real lizard, and that is because look at all the nice texture for like his scales in the green. I really love that textured detail, and I love the red eyes, or the orange, well, they're orange eyes, and then following down his body here, and the paint work is really nice. You got, I don't know what, I mean, his upper side, I guess, this nice bluish gray. But yeah, all the green parts are nicely textured. His legs, he is textured in the yellow parts here, but it doesn't stand out as much as with the green. And the breakage actually is kind of a shame. I kind of wish this was green as well, but they were probably following the paint scheme for the character model, which was green and yellow. Taking a look at his crest, I think you'd call it, I don't know, his fin. It is well painted with some of the gray and the green. But the mechanism here and with the yellow for his gimmick does kind of stand out and makes it kind of a little bit of an eyesore. And also his robot mode feet just hanging out under his tail with a gap is kind of ugly, and that's what I was talking about, referring to with the bad. I'm sure a modern take on Sling would hopefully solve this problem, but it is what it is, of course. And I mentioned the gimmick, so the gimmick is his crest actually unfolds, and I love the paintwork there. It just really pops, the yellows and the it's like an orangey reddish. But yeah, for some reason that really stands out. It really pops to me and it looks cool. So the gimmick is he's supposed to lay like underground, look like a flower or something. And he does do it in the show. And then he push down and he clamps whoever stumbles into the trap. So Stampy come up, oh, what a nice flower, and clamps him. The Beast War toys in general, as many of you know, are full of gimmicks, so this one's Sling. It's okay. I really love how it pops again, and it really looks cool in robot mode. we have Stampy in beast mode, and his beast mode form is suitable for his character in the show. Rabbits are timid, and Stampy was a bit of a fraidy cat, kind of cowardly, but he always seemed to come out big in the end and help out and come through when things were most dire, which is a really cool character trait. Just like Sling had some nice scale textures for his, lizard skin, I guess you'd call it. Stampy has some nice fur textures all down his arms, all over his head. And I love the different colors used, the whites, the grays, and I really love like the shiny, like metallic blue shadowing on the top of his back. That's really cool. What freaks me out as we come, his red eyes. They look like they make this rabbit not timid, and they make him look like he's here to eat my soul or something. And it's especially more creepy to me because his actual expression is like that, timid, afraid expression. But now together, he looks like he's coming to kill me. Which is really kind of freaking off-putting. And I hope I don't come face to face with him like some night when I'm heading to the bathroom in the middle of the night. But yeah, really cool robot mode. Beast mode. He doesn't have a lot of stuff hanging out in his belly like Sling, but he does have like kind of a gap where you can see some robot parts and things like that. But it doesn't bother me too much because from the side, over here I guess you can see some part of his robot leg, but that's fine to me. And so I think they did a good job with his beast mode. He does. I'll have to show Sling's articulation because I kind of forgot, but his head moves a little bit. It's really supposed to be attached there for beast mode. His ears do articulate. His front legs articulate like that. His back legs can swivel out like that. They rotate like that. And of course the feet. And he's he's a rabbit leg, not dog leg. And then Sling real quick. He's kind of floppy. This upper part likes to come apart when you move him around, but his head does swivel. Really nice. His jaw does open, which is cool. And his legs all rotate. So yeah, kind of limited, but like I said, for the time they came out, and Beast Wars was when they really made an effort to give more articulation to Transformers. So, the articulation in Transformers, or extra articulation in Transformers in its infancy was the Beast Wars era. Now, I usually don't Transformers on camera because I don't want to take up a bunch of your time and watching me fumble around doing so, but these two guys are fairly simplistic, so we'll go ahead and do that. And they're simplistic, but I do have fun transforming them as well. Anyway, let's take a closer look at these guys in the robot mode. Here is Sling. Now, he looks pretty plain. I think all the yellow now makes him come off kind of cheap looking. I don't hate him, but compared to like where the placement of the greens were in the beast mode, it just looks a little cheap to me. He's got a pretty cool head sculpt, pretty show accurate if I remember correctly. Love the dino head, which is weird. What I think is weird is he has this purple thing and Stampy has a red thing, but this one is covered by the dino head. And of course he has the big tail on his arm, which in the show is his cannon weapon. And the thing is, he looks okay. Like I said, you got to take into consideration the time, the era they're from. The back is kind of ugly though. You got this big gap here. So yeah, the very an eyesore, very much so an eyesore in the back. And his head never wants to stay locked. up there. But I did mention I thought his gimmick looked cool in robot mode, and in robot mode it opens up and it's a big shield. So I do think that's really cool. So he has his gun, he has his shield, and his head, and it likes to do that because it's on a hair trigger, but he has some decent articulation. Like I mentioned, this was the infancy of super articulated Transformers. His shoulders are on a ball. Sometimes he has trouble holding the weight of this big fin. And he does have elbows. He has a waist. This obviously is a little hindered. You can put this up like that and make a mega gun, I guess, but I like it back like here. His legs do kick out that way. Swivels, tilt because of the ball that's on, I believe, and forward and back. So he is really well articulated, if not a bit loose feeling. And every time you turn his head, it wants to pop back. And Stampy looks a little bulkier than how he did in the show, but you know, it is what it is. You can only do so much when you're making drawings into plastic form. But again, he has a nice head sculpt, pretty close but not dead on to his show model, I would say. I love, like I mentioned, this red circle clear plastic. And of course he has nice articulation as well. This is hindered by this piece here, but still a nice range for the time. No pivot or anything, but you can move his feet, and no waist. Checking him out, nice head. His hands are a little weird because the other side is one half of a rabbit head. So you can see what's supposed to be his hand and his thumb. It's a little ugly, but still, I like how he came out. I think he looks pretty cool. So what do I think about this old school Stampy vs. Sling Beast Wars Neo 2-pack? I gotta say, even though I have my nitpicks and my gripes or whatever, I am taking into consideration, like I said we should with figures like this, toys like this, is that the era they're from. And if you take that into consideration, the nitpicks are pretty much how those toys were back in the day. Does it detract from the fun factor? Not really. I just wish Sling wasn't as loose, but I think these two are really fun figures. I'm happy to have picked them up. I'm glad I did, and I just love that I discovered something new for me in the Transformers world that's been there for what now, around 24-25 years. So that's really cool. I do feel like a kid again. It's like, wow, what's this show's awesome. It's actually got me to go back and watch the continuation of G1, because that looks awesome too, the 3 series after that, and I can't wait because that too, it looks awesome. And it's so cool that I'm just discovering this now later on in life, these Japanese series. But yeah, I never had the Beast Wars toys when they came out, any of them. I still watched the show and stuff, but I wasn't really collecting back then. I was in that gray area in life where I loved the properties I love, but didn't really collect except for Star Wars. So a lot of these the Beast Wars stuff, when I'm getting them in hand, I'm absolutely falling in love with them. And these guys, I would say, I would recommend them if you don't mind, you know, the old school designs and stuff. If that doesn't bother you, I would recommend these guys because I think they are a lot of fun, and they do have merit. And the standout for me in this 2-pack is Stampy. I love both characters. Stampy, I mentioned, was Sling was just nuts in the show, and I loved his character. But figure-wise, I do like Stampy more. I'm not hating on Sling, but he is a little loose and floppy. And that's what kind of like put Stampy over the edge. I mean, come on, man. How many times do we get a rabbit that transforms? So yeah, But overall, fun set, highly recommend them. Drop me a comment, tell me what you think. Did you happen to see Beast Wars Neo or Beast Wars 2nd? Tell me what you think. And as always, until next time, thanks for docking.